For today's video, we're gonna go back to that wild and wacky town called Riverdale, and back when it became wild and wacky and spooky. That's right, I'm talking about Archie's Weird Mysteries. So, alright, let's go.
Yeah! So, we start off in Jughead's home, where he is in the middle of a monster movie marathon, which is perfect for a couch potato like he, but not so perfect for his best buddy, Archie Andrews. It's such a beautiful day out, the sun is shining, it's early in the day. If they're hanging out, they should go outside and do something. Go for a bike ride, hang out at Pop Tate's, something. But once Jughead is sitting on the couch with some food, well, his day is over. He ain't moving. But his laziness works in his favor. There was a contest at the end of the movie marathon, being the first person to call in and name every single movie featured will win a prize. To which, of course, Jughead wins. So Archie drives Jughead down to the TV station to pick up this elusive prize. Whatever it could be. Money? Gold? Hamburgers? Nay, none of the above. It is, in fact, a potato trophy? Ugh, what the hell is that? That's more like an insult than a prize. Ugh, and it's just a monstrosity. Look at that thing. Jeez. But at the end, Jughead, figures, hey, a prize is a prize, and if I want it, it's mine. So he takes it home. So while Jughead is stuck in the middle of another movie marathon, his potato trophy comes to life. Its potatoey tentacles spring out of it, embracing Jughead in a potato hug, and makes a potato body snatcher clone of Jughead. Which, with two Jugheads running around, that cannot be good for the local food supply. Meanwhile, the next day, at Pop Tate's, Archie, Betty, Veronica, Reggie, and Dilton all noticed that Jughead is acting really strange. Stranger than usual. He's hanging out in a pot of dirt. He's not scarfing down an entire herd of hamburgers. And in fact, he actually attacks Reggie for eating French fried potatoes. Jughead attacking someone for eating food? Yeah, this is when you call the funny farm, right? Give him that big jacket that helps you hug yourself. But instead, Archie figures that Jughead is just suffering from sleep deprivation. Staying up all night watching all these movies. So he tells Jughead to go home and just get some sleep, To which Jughead does. And on his way out, he gives everybody the gift of a potato. Which, well, yeah, I guess that's okay. It's no, bouquet of roses, but I guess it's the thought that counts. Later, at Betty's house, Archie and Betty are watching a movie when suddenly, Betty's gifted potato comes to life and starts attacking her. Luckily, Archie is able to save her there, but Betty eventually gets potatoized at Jughead's house. This situation is getting worse and more starchy. Potato Jughead tells Archie that the Great Potato is in control of every single potato on the planet, and they will slowly take over the world, leaving the humans in a catatonic potato state of bliss, while the potatoes replace everybody. Oh my god, Idaho and Prince Edward Island are totally screwed. And unfortunately, the Great Potato replaces practically everybody in Riverdale, except for Archie and Dilton Doily. But how are these two teenagers going to save the day? Well, putting their heads together, they figure this Great Potato is at the TV station and is controlling all of the potatoes with the TV broadcasting equipment. So to the TV station they go. But they can't get inside, so they have to climb the TV tower to turn the transmitter off. That, and avoid all the potato zombie people. Sadly, Dilton cannot avoid them and is potatoized, which really sucks because between him and Archie, like, Dilton has all the brains. The world is screwed! You think some girl-crazy jock like Archie can turn off the transmitter and save the day? Huh? Well, I guess he has to, like we have no other choice. But time is running out, as the potato zombies are almost upon him. With a potato on his leg and with seconds to spare, Archie turns off the transmitter, and all the potato zombies revert back to regular potatoes. And better yet, everybody else wakes up out of their potato state. So the day is saved. Hooray! What? Nope. Turns out the Great Potato has a spaceship, and he's trying to steal the transmitter. Dilton tells Archie to turn the transmitter back on, which he does, and the dish turns into basically a microwave and turns the Great Potato into a great baked potato. As this dead potato flies off somewhere is unknown, I don't know. But it's all good because now the day is saved. Hooray! Jughead has taken some time to step away from the TV. Nobody in Riverdale is buying potatoes. And Archie is writing a nice little article on this weird potato happening. And with that is the end of this starchy tale.
Yes! Man, like, that was an awesome episode. I am a fan of Archie cartoons and of old classic movies, so this one, totally in my wheelhouse. Potatoes turning people into couch potatoes, which is very poetic. And that's the whole moral of the story, right? Don't be glued to the TV. Which is always kind of funny when a TV show tells you that, but I guess, how else would you get that message? Also, like, how many times can you say potato in one episode? Well, roughly the same amount of times as they said the F word in that movie, Scarface. Well, maybe not that much, but still. Also, like, what would the Great Potato do if he actually did succeed in cloning every single human on the planet? Would these potato clones still go to work and still run society? Would they still have a potato clone Super Bowl? Is there an endgame that doesn't end disastrously for the humans? As Potato Jughead said, the Great Potato uses human beings for their energy, so he just drain every single human of their life and just, like, basically end the human race? And go off to another planet to conquest? That makes this horror-themed episode even more horrific, like, jeez! But for the horror themes that they did do in this episode, they actually did a pretty good job. It's still aimed towards a younger audience, so it's only gonna be so creepy, like, chasing people with potatoes can spook you out only so much, right? But watching basically zombified versions of the Archie gang, like chasing down Archie, that was a little creepier than the rest. So, good on them, I guess, hey? So if you haven't checked out this episode or this series yet before, I suggest you do so. Especially if you do love old horror and science fiction movies, man, because they do a really good job in this series of telling those stories again. But with all of that, we do have some more behind-the-scenes kind of things about Archie's weird science, the whole premise of the show, and all this other kind of stuff going on over here.
So yes, indeed, hey? Archie's Weird Mysteries. So how did this different format of a show come to be? Well, let's just take a quick looky-loo. So Archie and his gang have pretty much had the same format. A bunch of teenagers hanging out in either high school or at the pop shop or wherever. Most of the time it's just normal teenage stuff. Other times it's all weird and wacky. So Archie, in the comics and in some of his shows, tried to really break that mold and present a new kind of story. With some of the Archie spin-off cartoons, you would have shows like The U.S. of Archie, which is historical reenactment. You would also have Josie and the Pussycats in space, going really sci-fi, and even Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, introducing a lot of magic and sorcery and stuff like that. Even in the comic books, Archie Comics would try to produce a lot of different Archie kind of formats involving Archie and his buddies. For example, you would have titles like Archie 3000, Archie's RC Racers, Archie's Explorers of the Unknown, Jughead's Time Police, and my personal favorite, Archie Meets the Punisher. Which sounds really crazy, but man, that was such an awesome story. So well done. These are only just a few of the different titles, and even then, some of them were a miniseries just trying to gauge public interest. Some of them ran for a number of years, but still, different stories with Archie and the gang. Whether it be in an alternate reality or just in Archie's imagination, whatever the case is, right? Different stories. So when they were coming up with this new cartoon series, they figured to go in the route of something different. So in the 1990s, there were a lot of shows that were really popular for the younger viewers. Not even just like young kids, but even like young teenagers, which would involve shows about the supernatural or with aliens or monsters, whatever, right? Certain shows like this that were really popular would be, for example, The X-Files, which was massive at the time. You also had shows aimed towards a younger audience like Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Erie, Indiana, which was a great show, man. Oh! But if those shows were really popular, the Archie crew figured, you know what, let's just kind of jump on that and make our show kind of in that vein. Which they did! They put a bit more focus on old classic movies, and thusly, Archie's Weird Mysteries was born! For the most part, instead of making up different villains and different kind of creatures for the show, they would focus on old classic horror and science fiction movies. For example, our featured episode, Attack of the Killer Spuds, if you couldn't tell, really was a homage to that classic science fiction horror movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Either the classic 1956 film or the 1978 remake. And as I say, for the audience that it was still kind of focusing on, they still did a pretty good job of getting somewhat creepy, so, good on them for that. The title of the episode, Attack of the Killer Spuds, is a homage to that really low-budget horror kind of movie called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. They could have called the episode Attack of the Killer Potatoes, but that would have been a little too close. And the Killer Tomato movie was not about body snatching, it was about literally like individual killer tomatoes, right? With this show being on television, as per usual, Archie Comics will produce a comic book based on the new TV series. And with that, Archie's Weird Mysteries #1 debuted in the year 2000. It did feature a handful of stories from the TV series, but for the most part, they created their own stories for the comic book. Eventually, that series would just change its name to Archie's Mysteries, and the whole run ran for 2 years. So even though in Archie Comics there was not any stories about potato clones coming to life and starting attacking people, throughout Riverdale, more recently, Archie Comics has been producing a whole bunch more horror-themed comic titles, including Afterlife with Archie, which is all about a flat-out zombie invasion starting in Riverdale. Not potato zombies, like movie zombies. So if this body snatcher zombie kind of themed episode piqued your interest, well, you have those comic books to look at. So yay, I guess, eh? But other than that, that's pretty much the skinny on this TV series, how it came to be, and how it's going forward. And when we get to more kind of Archie stuff in the series and whatnot, we'll talk about it when we get to it. But for now, with this, that, those, and the other things, I guess that's that. Also, if you're interested, I created my own comic book channel, 215 Comics. And currently, I have created my own cartoon series, The Adventures of the Density. And recently started a radio series featuring my newest character, Elastomorph, with more titles to come. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link up top here to that channel and some links at the end of the video. Yeah! Right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video.
I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, you know, feel free to do so. Or anything else, you know, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, you know, have a great day. Thanks.